Hey guys, before we get into service today, we just wanted to let you know that Different Church now has merch. If you're interested in getting one of these, all you have to do is Venmo at Different Church $25 and include in the notes section the color shirt you want, the size you need, and your shipping address, and we'll get it mailed out to you. And if you have any questions, just let us know. Now let's get back to the service. Thanks, guys.
What's up, everyone? I'm Pandora, and I want to welcome you to Different Church's YouTube campus. Now, before we get to the message, there's a couple of quick things that you can do in order to get connected here at Different Church. First off, subscribe and then tap that notification bell so you know when all the new sermons drop. Second, make us a part of your social media to stay up to date on all the happenings at Different Church. Last but not least, if you call Different Church home, visit our website at dfrnt.church. Click on the Generosity tab and give so you can be a part of the vision here at Different Church. Now, wherever you're watching, we hope that God speaks a great word into your life.
First rule of Fight Club is second rule of Fight Club is third rule of Fight Club.
Church, welcome. Hey, I know we have a lot of new friends that have joined our YouTube campus. So, hey, wherever you're watching from, I just want to say thank you. And however you got here, right? We get messages all the time. People get here from TikTok or Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. I just want to say welcome. Thank you for being a part. Thank you for jumping into our family for the next few minutes. And I just pray that God does something in you and through you that you discover what your different is. And hey, if you watch, and I'm bad about this, my team's always mentioning it, if you watch online and you live, and if you know what the three numbers 615 mean, why don't you reach out to us and maybe join the team? What if you were to step from behind the screen and into a team? It may change something in your life. So I don't know if that's you. Maybe you watch and you're in the Nashville area. And I would just pray that you would maybe step out and see what joining the different team would look like. Because here's what I'll tell you, and here's what any of the team will tell you. There's a lot of behind the scenes here, and we really want you to be a part. And so we're in a series, okay? We're in a series called Fight Club, okay? The second part of Fight Club, and I said it last week, and I don't know, maybe it just means a lot to me and no one really cares. The main character in the movie Fight Club, it's Brad Pitt, and his name in the movie is Tyler Durden. I want to welcome you, if you don't know who I am. My name is Tyler Sterban, okay? And I kind of look like him a little bit. My wife says no, but I am kind of convinced that I look a lot like this dude named Tyler Durden. But in the movie Fight Club, he takes these ordinary people, right? These ordinary businessmen, whatever, he takes them to this underground place, and then he gets them to fight. And they discover, listen, they discover that there was more inside of them than they really thought. But there was a rule to Fight Club, okay? Right when you walked in, all these people are fighting in the circle, right? The accountant's fighting the finance director, whatever they're fighting. But there was one rule. Do you know what the rule is? We don't talk about Fight Club. It doesn't exist. And I think in my life, and I can only speak for myself, in my life, I do a really good job of trying to resist fights with my wife, with my kids, with my coworkers, whatever. Like, how can I get around fights? Right? Like, okay, I may hate doing the dishes, but I know she's going to yell at me and whatever. Okay, let me just do the dishes real quick. Rather than, hey, let's talk about, I think rather than learning how to get around fights and avoid fights, what if we learned how to fight? What if that was the real goal of our life? What if we learned how to fight in our life? Because especially in the world we live in, it's not just me versus you or anything like that. Like, we have an enemy that sometimes we can't see attacking us all the time. And rather than, okay, God, let nothing bad happen to me all day. That's the worst prayer you could pray, because then you're not tested, then you're not growing. Rather than praying that, be praying, hey, God, show me what to do when something bad happens. Show me how to fight. Show me how to fight. So the great pastor, so there's this pastor, his name was Mike Tyson a long time ago. He said, it's the punch you don't see that knocks you out. It's when you're blindsided and you don't see it coming, that's when you get knocked out. Isn't it that tire that you weren't planning on paying for that blows out, the one that knocks you out? Isn't it? Isn't it the, I wasn't planning on this to happen. I wasn't planning on having a kid this young. I wasn't planning on my job to lay me off. I wasn't planning on getting COVID. It's the punch that you don't see coming that hits you and knocks you out, doesn't it? That's why I think so last week we talked about fighting mentally. If you've got to the fight starts here, right? But then I think we've got to talk about, how do I prepare to fight? If I don't see this thing coming, that kind of means I have to be prepared all the time, right? If there's anything, I could leave right now and go in my car, my tire flies off to the side of the road. Now I'm out $200. I don't have that budget. Now I've got to get a second job. Right? I'm knocked out all because of see how quick it came and I wasn't expecting it. It's the punch that you don't see that knocks you out. So how do I prepare? So the average fight, for a boxer, UFC fight, or whatever, an average fight is around 30 minutes, okay? How long do you think they train for a 30-minute fight? The average fight camp is 3 to 6 months. You're telling me these dudes train for 3 to 6 months, and if you ask fighters, they'd want to train longer. They say, hey, let me know 2 years in advance so I'm prepared. They train for 3 to 6 months for a 30-minute fight. For a 30-minute fight. Because they know, listen. How come they're able to prepare like that? How come they're able to plan like that? How come they're able to finesse their schedule like that? Because they know when they step into the ring, someone's trying to knock them out and kill them. So what do you think that does? That wakes them up. They know, if I don't wake up and train, I'm going to get taken out. And then I look at my life. No, I'm not a fighter. No, I'm not a boxer, UFC, none of that. But every single day, there's a spiritual battle going on. There's a spiritual fight happening every single day. For my kids, for my family. You think the enemy wants me happily married? You think the enemy wants me to pray with my kids every single night? You think the enemy wants me giving to church and spreading the gospel? You think he doesn't? No. So what is he doing? There are fights happening. So in the morning, I've got to wake up assuming I'm going to get knocked out today. I've got to prepare to protect my marriage, my kids. But we just wake up like nothing bad's ever gonna happen, and then when something bad happens, we go, oh gosh, how? We should have been preparing for this fight. But we don't talk about it, do we? Fight Club. We don't talk about it. Everyone's perfect. Everybody's got it together. You've never been punched in the face by life, have you? Dude, I'll tell you right now. Me all the time, every single day, something I wasn't expecting. I get a text message from a family member. I get a text message from it just messes me up. And this isn't just Tyler saying this stuff and making it make sense and, okay, using God. No. Did you know there's this dude named the Apostle Paul? He's talking to his favorite church, the church in Ephesus, or to the Ephesians, and the last thing he tells them is how to fight. That's what he tells them. He says, hey, I'm going to show you guys how to fight because there's a fight happening. And you're one of three people. We said it last week. You're either going into a fight, you're in a fight, or you just got done fighting and you're leaving the fight. You're always one of those three people and you're cycling in and out, in and out. But if you have a Bible, turn to Ephesians 6. Ephesians 6 verse 10, we'll read it's two verses, that's it. Look at this. A final word. This is Paul's last thing he's telling these dudes. His favorite church, really the largest church at this time in the Bible. Look at this. A final word. Be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Verse 11. Put on all of God's armor so that you will be able to stand firm against all strategies of the devil. Verse 12 when we're done. And this is like, preachers love this one. Like I've heard a lot of preachers do this one as someone takes a lap and shouts, for we are not fighting against flesh and blood enemies, but against evil rulers and authorities, or if you're from like the Pentecostal background, powers and principalities, authorities of the unseen world, against mighty powers in this dark world, and against evil spirits in the heavenly places. Okay, so he tells this church, hey, here's the last thing I'm going to tell you. What does he say? Verse 10, a final word, be strong in the Lord. You know what I'm good at being? Being strong in Tyler, saving up money, putting a bunch of money in my savings account so nothing bad happens, or taking my wife on vacation when we're struggling in our marriage. I'm strong at being Tyler. No, that doesn't do anything when the enemy's coming after you. He says, be strong in who? God, the Lord, our Lord. Be strong in him. But man, I'm good at looking strong. I'm good at trying my hardest to make sure nothing bad happens. No. Stop. You will lose that fight every single time. Ask me how I know. I lose it all the time when I try to take control of it. He's telling this church, remember, he's talking to Christians. He's not talking to people that don't know the Bible, that don't know who Jesus is. He's talking to people like you and me, saying, hey, not if there's a fight, when there's a fight. When the enemy comes, because it's not an if thing. It's not, okay, I won. He'll probably won't come after me. No. If you're moving in the way God's called you to move, he's going to stop you at any cost. Not if, it's when. And he's telling this church, hey, don't be strong in your church attendance. Don't be strong in how many devotionals you finish and you just think you got it. Like, no. Be strong in the Lord. You know, you remember growing up, kids used to say, and I haven't heard my daughters do it, okay, and I'm scared when they start doing it. You remember that thing well, my dad can beat up your dad. My dad's faster than your dad. I'm really scared that my daughters are going to start saying that, because I'll tell you now, I'm probably not stronger than anybody's dad. And I'm really not trying to fight nobody's pops. I'm just not. But when a little kid says, my dad is this strong, they're not saying, I'll fight your dad. They're not talking with confidence about themselves. They're not flexing their strength. Who are they talking about? Who's fighting the battle? Well, their dad. That's why they're able to walk with a little swagger, because they've got a dad that knows how to fight. That's why as a Christian, that's why as a believer, I'm able to walk in confidence. I'm able to walk like, man, there's nothing that can happen to me. Why? I don't have to be strong. My dad can take this on. My dad's cool with this. Watch him. saying, hey, you're able to walk into a fight, not, okay, how do I avoid that email? How do I avoid that financial issue? How do I avoid this marital problem? No. You know why you're able to walk into these things with confidence? Well, my dad. Have you seen my dad? He's strong. That's what he's saying. Walk into these fights. Hey, when you walk into a fight with the Lord's strength, it changes the game. But look. Be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Not in Tyler's power, not in your power, not in your 401k's power, not any of that. In his mighty power. You know what I always love? When I see like celebrities that have like bodyguards walk into somewhere. Because they kind of walk like nobody's going to touch them, right? Like, I wish somebody would. Of course you wish somebody would. You've got people surrounding you that won't let, they're not confident in their ability to defend themselves. They're walking, trusting the ability of their bodyguards. They're trusting these guys won't let anything bad happen to me. In the same way, I get to walk into any situation surrounded knowing my God's got me. So I wish somebody would. I wish you would. Because I'm not fighting this battle. I'm not fighting with anybody on this planet. There's no way you'll catch me fighting with you. I don't fight these things. I let the Lord go before me. Have fun. But I'm able to walk into any season, any circumstance, any battle, any fight, any storm. Surrounded by his angels, surrounded. He's saying, hey, if you want to remove kind of the stress of your life of having to be the strongest, well, be strong in him. You ever said this prayer, and I'm not hating on you if you have, because I have in my life, Lord, give me strength. You prayed that? You couldn't give me enough strength to be through the stuff I've been through. I think we're saying, Lord, help me get close to you and your strength. I think that's the conversation I'm having now. There's not enough steroids that can get me through certain circumstances. There's not. I think he's saying, no. I'm not here to make you strong. You draw close to me. That's when you walk with the swagger of strength. That's when you start really flexing. Not, God, make me wise, make me smart, make me this, make me rich, make me, no. I think the closer you draw to him, then all that, seek first the kingdom of God, then everything gets added unto you. So it's no. It's no longer Tyler fights through every circumstance. And I'm glad. I'm thankful. I don't want to fight every battle. I don't want to fight any battle. And I think that's what he's saying. Hey, every morning, wake up seeking his strength. Seeking him. Seeking his strength. Because look at what it says. A final word, be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Look at this. Put on all of God's armor. When you put on clothes, you prepare. I mean, I hope you do. I remember the first day of school every year. What did you do? Well, I laid my clothes out 3 weeks before and just let them sit there until I got to wear them. My shoes, my socks, my shirt looks good. I looked at it. Okay, I think Brittany liked that. Okay, cool. And then that's what I did. I prepared to put on clothes. That's what you do. He's saying, when you wake up, put on the armor of God. Everything. Put on truth, put on peace, put on faithfulness, put on love, put on all of it. Put it on. Because here's what I've seen. I think you can do the right thing with the wrong equipment. I think you can fight the right battle, because whenever you fight with the wrong thing, you end up getting hurt. I remember, 4 years ago, I think it was, I actually fought like a UFC fighter. So for 3 months, I trained at this like Brazilian jiu-jitsu gym and all this. And the first day I walk in, I see like all these like pads that like you punch and kick. So I walk in, and I don't know, I've never been in one of these before. So I walk in and I punch the bag. I didn't have anything on my hands. I just punched the bag. I was like, I didn't want to look like that guy, but I was like, that kind of hurts. Does this hurt you guys? And then I realized everyone else was wearing something. And so but I didn't want to say anything, so I'm punching, my hands are hurting so bad. And a guy walks up to me, he's like, "You new here?" And I was like, "Nah, bro, I just hang out here all the time." I was like, he's like, why don't you wrap your hands? It won't hurt you. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, that makes sense." But in my life, I've done the right thing with the wrong equipment and end up being hurt in the process. You can pursue marriage with the wrong intentions, with the marriage is good and right, but you do it the wrong way with the wrong person at the wrong time, you'll end up getting hurt. You're pursuing success, you go and get a job that you think will help you, but God didn't call you to do that. That doesn't fit within your calling, and it's taking time away from you serving the church, you serving the Lord, you're doing the right thing, but you're getting hurt because you're just swinging and swinging and swinging. No. God's given you the armor to win. He's given it to you. If you grew up in church, you know what else is it? Boom, boom, and then the shoes, right? Like, He's given it to you. But I'll fight it. I'll figure this out. I'll make this happen. And then look, and we're almost done, I promise. Verse 11, put on all of God's armor so that you'll be able to stand firm against the enemy. He says, remember, it's not if you get punched, it's when you get punched. Be firm, so when something hits you, when the winds come, the rain comes, the storm hits you, yeah, you get hurt, but you're not. Listen, your foundation, you're planted. It doesn't uproot you. It doesn't take you out. And I don't know how you signed up for church in your past, whatever, where they just said, hey, it's going to be the greatest experience of your life. Yes, but it won't look great sometimes in the moment, and you've got to have a firm foundation of prayer, of reading, of seeking Him, of worship, because it's going to hit you and hit you. Hey, ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. I lived in Florida for a few years, and during hurricane season, I got stuck in a Category 3 hurricane, and after it was all done for like a couple days, the winds hitting, I walk out my door, and we see trees all over the ground, and so I'm standing outside, and I'm looking at this guy who's looking at the tree, and I said, dang, the wind must have blown this tree down. He said, no, it had nothing to do with the wind. It had everything to do with the foundation and the soil. He said it rained so much, it started to loosen the soil. So then when the wind started to push it, then it was able to push it down. He said it had nothing to do with how strong the winds were, but what the foundation was like. When you're attacked by the enemy, the attack will hurt. Are you planted? Do you have a firm foundation in prayer and reading and worship? Because it's going to hit you. Don't let it uproot you. The wind's gonna, bro, in your marriage, in your finances, with your kids, you're gonna be like this. And if I'm telling you, if this is wet, if this soil is not hard, if you do not have a good foundation, if you are not rooted, you just fall over. Immediately you'll fall over. It has nothing to do with the punch, it has everything to do with the foundation that's being punched. But we just wake up every morning like nothing bad's gonna happen and then get mad when something bad happens. Wife, whoever you are, I don't know. You just wake up every morning assuming your husband's gonna say all the right stuff. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. I'm a husband. I will not do that, promise. So prepare yourself for the stupidity that comes out of your husband's mouth. Go ahead and pray. Get patient. Go ahead. You're gonna need it. Husband, not everything your wife says you're going to like, you're going to agree with, you're going to think. That's why before anyone wakes up, I wake up and I say, God, give me praise. Let me see this situation, how you see the situation, not me. How you do. So then when a fight happens, when an argument happens, I'm here. Yeah, it hurt. I got hit. I wasn't pulled out of the ground. All right, we're almost done. We're done, I promise. I keep going. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This is it. This is it. Put on all of God's armor so that you'll be able to stand firm against all the strategies. Hear me. I don't want to preach on this super long. Strategies meaning you're being plotted against. Before you thought about the problem was thought about a year ago by the enemy. Strategy, you don't see it coming. It's a trap. You don't see the trap coming. So no wonder you fell into it. Stand firm against all the strategies of the devil. And look at what he says, and we're done. For we do not fight against flesh and blood. Your boss is not an enemy. Hear me. Your boss is not the enemy. We don't hate people. We love and serve people. Your husband, your wife is not the enemy. Your kids are not the enemy. Your in-laws are not the enemy. That coworker is not the enemy. None of that person that cut you off on the interstate is not the enemy. We do not do battle with people. We love and serve people. We do not do battle against flesh and blood, but the enemy uses flesh and blood to do battle against us. He does. And we spend our whole time fighting with each other that we never actually see what the strategy was that got to us, so we never deal with the issue. And we wonder why our marriage goes through the same thing. Our finances go through the same thing. It's a strategy, and I'm not fighting. But listen, we plot on people more than we pray for people. We respond to people more than we read the Bible for people. We just do. Like I don't want to get too into this. I'm just saying, whoever is causing you the most stress, they are not the enemy. You're not doing battle against them at all. You've got to ask God, help me see them like you see them. Help me respond how you would want me to respond. So I want to pray for you. I don't know who you are. Really, this ending, like I know that when you think of a battle, when you think of a fight, you're thinking of a person. Stop. And I have to tell myself this too, okay? It is not Tyler knows all. No. Because when I think who's in my way, right? Was a person. No. Maybe the enemy has plotted against you, and you've got to say, okay, if they're not the problem, what is? So I just want to pray for you. Man, you just haven't prepared. For real. Like, man, you do not wake up in the morning reading, praying, seeking the Lord. You just don't. And it's cool. Let's start tomorrow. Let's start today. Let's start right now. Because it seems like every single time something happens, dishes aren't done, you freak out. Someone cuts you off on the interstate, freak out. Money's not right, freaks out. Stop. That's why early in the morning, get your foundation. Get your foundation. So, I don't know where you are, who you are, how you got here. I have no idea. I just pray that you become everything God created you to be, and that you learn how to prepare for everything the enemy has to come against you. God, we love you. We praise you. We thank you. We honor you. We are so grateful for you. Help us to see every person not as an enemy, not as an adversary, but as someone I can love and serve. And God, help for me. I just want to wake up in the morning and seek you, knowing I'm in a war zone, knowing I'm in a battlefield, knowing I'm in a cage or a ring, and there is someone coming after me. And God, I just pray that you would protect my heart, protect my soul, protect my mind. And help me to lean into your strength. I'm done fighting battles. It gets tiring. I'm done. But now I lean into you. God, we love you. We thank you. We praise you. It's your name we pray. And everybody said, amen. Hey, what's up? My name's Tyler, and you are a part of our Different Church YouTube campus. And I just want to say thank you. I'm the pastor here. And here's a few things that you can do to stay a part. 1, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Be alerted anytime something drops or releases. We want you to be a part, we want you to be encouraged and inspired and figure out what your different is. But maybe you want to tell your auntie, your uncle, your cousin, whoever. Maybe you want to send that, just share it. Because what I've learned in ministry, people will open a link to a church long before they ever open the door to a church. And maybe you're on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. Follow us, Different Church Nashville. Be a part, see what we're doing every single day. And maybe, last but not least, you're an OG, you're a real one. You really want to get plugged in. All you got to do is go to different.church. That's DFRNT.church to find out more about us, the church, how to give, how to be a part, all of that. But I love you, and I will see you next video.